year, starting this month, we're doing a monthly global marketing conversation. One as an example. We also have a lot of different chapters doing monthly events. Our speakers today, Laura and Barry Ash, are based out of the London chapter, and that chapter has a monthly conversation. There are a bunch of others, and there are a variety of new ones coming this year as well. The purpose of all of this is to make the availability of amazing people in your global growth activities accessible. You should not attend all global chamber events. There's over 600 of them a year. That would not necessarily be a good idea or worth your time, although it probably would transform your life in lots of different ways and probably mostly positive. The purpose of these events and really every moment of our waking hours working at Global Chamber is to make members' lives easier, global growth faster and better and more effective. Part of that is to connect members to amazing people who are smart and professional and effective and honest and ethical and easy to work with. And we've assembled a couple of those folks on the topic of leadership. That's actually leadership is one that we do and talk about a lot. We do a monthly program where we just talk about what our view of the world is. We've done conversations about leadership. We've done conversations about health and wellness. Today, we've brought them together as a kickoff of a monthly leadership conversation. Because if you don't have health and wellness, you're probably not going to be an effective leader. It takes effort, it takes work to be a leader, and it also takes effort to be healthy in doing so. I will embarrassingly say that today is February 3rd. It's a month into the year. Today was actually the first day that I went through a protocol in the morning where I got up, I took my positive intelligence class online and kind of did my meditation and just got calm and went to my sage place. I took the three pills that I take, which is one is for joints, one is for vitamins, and one is for fish oil for brain health. So really mostly vitamins, and then did a variety of other little things just to get ready before I jumped into email. Today was the first day I did that. It took me a month to finally do it. Hopefully that won't be the last. Hopefully that's a continuity of a better pattern. I don't know what your all patterns are, probably less than ideal, but we'd love to learn more about it. And Laura and Barry Ash are going to take us even to another level today to be able to help and facilitate us being healthier and hopefully wealthier, not just in health, but in prosperity as well. So I turn the program over for the rest of the hour to Laura. Laura, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for all the exciting programs that you have already done, the contributions you've made to Global Chamber London, Global Chamber overall, and we're just going to have some fun with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us, Doug. And, when I reached out to you and said, look, you have an amazing program of things to help the members, I said, what about something for health? Because I think we would all agree here, give me a thumbs up in the reactions if you'll agree that without our health, we are nothing. Yeah, absolutely, right? Without our health, we are nothing. So we can have all the business success that we like, but if we don't have our health, then fundamentally we don't have anything at all whatsoever. And that means a career, a business, our relationships, everything. So I personally think that health and well-being is the fundamental thing that we all need to be focusing on, before we can move and do anything else. So it's really great to be here today, and we're going to talk to you a little bit today about time vs energy management. So I'd invite you to come along here today and listen with an open mind, because we want this to be a collaborative discussion. So Barry and I are going to give a little bit of an input with everybody. We'll introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit more about us, and then we're going to share a few things about time vs energy management, and then we'll have some time for breakout rooms, because the Global Chamber is, really focused around networking and building relationships, and that's what we want to do here today.
Definitely. And relationships is part of our health and part of our well-being. We need to build these relationships between people to help us stay healthy and fit.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly. Let me just move this, hit present, and present. Okay, I'm just checking. Doug, Cesar, can you see my screen at all?
Yes, we can. Looks great.
Excellent, excellent. So time vs energy management, the first one that we're kicking off today with the Global Chamber in this wellbeing series. Very briefly, we just want to introduce you to who we are, just in case any of you haven't seen us before. So we are Laura and Barry Ash. We are a husband and wife team. My background is on the far left. As you can see, I was a former police officer and counter-terrorism intelligence officer. But I was actually medically retired back in 2013 because I have a diagnosis of bipolar and OCD, which is a mental health condition that affects me. So for me, being able to manage my health mentally, physically, and emotionally is fundamental. And my whole business in the past 12 years has basically been built on this. We pivoted our business in 2017 because I suffered burnout to the degree that we almost lost the business. Because I was completely catatonic. So for me, the subject of energy management that we're going to be talking about is so, so important. Barry, what about you?
And my background is I've got over 30 years of experience in the health and wellness industry. I started my career in the local leisure centres working as a personal trainer. And then I met Laura and I needed to earn a little bit more money. So I thought I'd better get myself a career. So I joined the prison service. And I spent 3 years walking the landings, looking after the welfare of the prisoners, but I still had that burning desire to do health and wellness. So I was really lucky within the prison service. I specialise as a PTI within the prison service, and that's a physical training instructor. And I managed to head up the wellbeing team in the establishment I worked at. And I was in the role of teaching the prisoners to become personal trainers, sports therapists alike. And when Loz got medically retired, I thought, do I stay in this career or do I jump ship, join Laura in Rock Solid and see where this journey took us? So I decided to do that. And now we are more about the emotional health and more than our physical health. And this is where we're leading this business now. And the last picture you can see here is me and Laura doing our charity work. And we dress up as superheroes. We go into children's hospices, children's hospitals, and it's all about giving back with that part of what we do.
I think we actually, for the Global Chamber, the London one in December, we actually gave an input about superheroes and how you could invoke your own superhero to overcome adversities, which was really cool. But we're here in our main capacity here where, we love helping exhausted leaders overcome burnout so they can find that balance and that freedom and that fulfillment, so they can then unlock that, peak performance. So now you know a little bit more about us. So let me ask you this. This is our first question to you, okay? And I want you just to start thinking about this. So what is better, time management or energy management? And I just want you to get the cogs start moving when it comes to this. And if you want to put anything in the chat box, please do. I'll pull it up so I've got it here. Here we go. Yep, Doug says health health is wealth. Absolutely, 100%. So, what have I done there? We've got energy management here. Yep, energy management. Someone's already on our side. So what is better? Well, I think one of the first things we need to do is look at, well, what is time management? What is energy management, right? Because time management is the ability to use your time effectively or productively, especially at work, right? I need energy to manage my time. Exactly, Naomi, right? And energy management this is our definition. It's the ability to use one's energy to match the tasks that you have to do to get more done in less time. Okay, because a lot of us on here are either business owners, executives, CEOs, and we're often told that the key to our success lies in actually managing our time better. Need to manage your time, need to prioritize your time. But how many of you have tried that and still feel like there's not enough time in the day? Because the truth is that time management on its own is just not enough. And we can say this from our personal point of view when I faced burnout with all of the mental health stuff and all of the clients that we help, within our business. Because so many of us, I don't know about you, give us a yes in the comments box if this resonates. So many of us are running on empty right now, right? We're waking up tired. We're pushing through with coffee or tea or sugary foods and drinks, and literally we're collapsing at the end of the day because we're so exhausted. And then we start to repeat that cycle again, and it becomes this endless thing. And we sometimes think, oh, I just need to organize my schedule better, I just need to get that in place, and then everything will be absolutely fine. But the reality is, it's not about squeezing more into your day. It's about using your energy wisely when it comes to this, because we all have a certain amount of energy that we can exert during the day, right? And when we focus on managing our energy, we can then unlock a level of productivity, a level of creativity, and resilience that you might not have thought possible. It's all about seeing this in a different way, right? Because I'd love to ask you this question, and please pop it in the chat box. I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. What do you think drains someone's energy? What are your thoughts on this one? Chat box is open. Please pop it in there. What do you think?
Negative
Oh,
people.
yeah, definitely.
Stress.
Yeah, negative people, stress, and then start thinking outside of the box. Judging, yeah. So all very kind of mental things at the moment. How about some more physical things? Negative people and thoughts. Yeah, definitely can.
That's interesting because we've got negative people like the external, negative thoughts. There's the internal. So we've got two
Yeah.
different dynamics there, which is
Yeah.
nice to see.
We've got lack of sleep, multitasking. Yeah. But how about things?
Poor
Yes,
diet.
Naomi,
Yes.
poor diet. Yeah, absolutely. How about not moving our body? Right? How about there you go, family issues, these sorts of things, not fueling ourselves properly, and maybe not even investing in ourselves. Sometimes even just giving ourselves breaks in the day, right?
Breaks are needed.
Yeah, and maybe watching the news. That might drain
Hi,
your
Laura.
energy.
Hi, Laura.
Hello?
I would say living in the past or dwelling in the past for too long.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, most definitely. I
Past
totally,
is for reference, not for residence. So we don't want to be living in the past.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Stress and hypertension. Yeah, so we're thinking more physical issues now. All of these things actually drain our energy, and they will have an impact on what you do every single day, right? I'd love to introduce you to someone called Evelyn. Evelyn is someone that we worked with, who is a fantastic person, as an amazing person we put here. But when she came to us, she was completely overwhelmed by her diary. She was trying to cram everything in, and it was leaving her completely exhausted. And she was trying to fit in all these jobs into the days of the week. So she had all of these jobs that she needed to do, and she was trying to use her time to cram them in. And then she was saying, yes, but then I'm going to end up having to work weekends, and it's just completely overwhelming for her. And that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to manage her time. She had time blocked things, she had set timers, but everything still just felt overwhelming for her. So what we did was we told her to scrap managing time. because that was based on external and she was already exhausted. So what we invited her to do, we asked her to focus on her energy, which is internal, right? And that's when things started to change for her. We asked her to look at her natural rhythm for the day. When are you the most energetic? When do you feel the most creative? Not just across the day, but even at the weekends as well, maybe. Because a lot of us are told not to work weekends, but hang on a second. What if for 2 hours on Saturday, you had really focused work where you could really focus in on some tasks where you have no distractions and you feel totally energized? Why are we not maybe using that time and then in the week having that block off instead, right? And so we looked at her tasks, we looked at her energy levels throughout the day, and we started to get her to match up her task with her energy levels. And this unlocked something inside of her that actually enabled her burnout self-assessment score on the physical side to go from 27% to 73%, right? She had clearer focus, she had more energy, she was happier, and she was getting more done in less time. So all the heavy stuff, she was caring to when she was most energetic. And all of the mundane, normal admin stuff when she was at her lowest, she did that then because it didn't take too much concentration. And she started to go with these natural flows within her body, and it changed everything.
And some of the misconceptions that we have, the mistakes that we make a lot of the time, is we treat every hour as an equal hour throughout the day. We try to think that we can do all the tasks the same throughout the day. We tend to overload our schedules. And I had a client in the gym and we was working through this and we were looking at her schedule through the day, and she was packing her schedule out so much that she looked really busy. But busyness doesn't mean productive. So we need to look at how we schedule our diaries. And when we just look at our diary and there's so much stuff in that, can be so draining. But we need to find those magic moments where we can have space, because the magic happens in those spaces. Pushing through exhaustion. We live in a hustle society. We've got to do more. We've got to push more. We've got to push through that exhaustion. But I'll tell you now that if we do this, it's going to come around and bite you, because you will hit burnout if we don't listen to our body and we don't understand that we cannot keep pushing, pushing, pushing. Our bodies will not allow us to do this. And a lot of us using quick fixes to stay alert. We get up in the morning and before we leave the house, we're on our third cup of coffee. The afternoon comes and we're still drinking the teas and the coffees and the stimulation drinks with the high caffeine to get us through the day. But how nice would it be to not having to rely on these quick fixes to feel energized? And we're skipping recovery. Recovery is not a must, it's an essential. If we skip our recovery, our energy levels, our resilient levels are just going to get lower and lower and lower until we fall ill or we reach burnout. So we must allow ourselves recovery time. We must allow ourselves time to rest, sleep, and feel replenished.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one of the I don't know about everybody else, but emails tend to be a constant for everybody. Give us a yes in the comments box if you can resonate with this. I know for a lot of our clients and a lot of people we've spoken just recently, emails seem to be a consistent thing that keep coming through, keep coming through, keep coming through, keep coming through, right? And so our clients predominantly are very much perfectionist, high achievers, people pleasers, and they want to do the best. And so one thing we were able to do with Evelyn to give her a little bit of wiggle room was she sent out, whenever someone sends her an email, she has a reply that goes automatically that says, thank you very much for your email. And in order to be efficient and serve you best, I look at my emails at 12 and at 4. So that is when you can expect a response. right? And if it's urgent, then please call me on this number. And I cannot tell you what a game changer that's been, not just for her, but other people that we've worked with. Because it helps you to have a bit of that buffer space of like, right, okay, I don't need to check my emails. I can shut that down. It's another thing that's not pinging off, every 5 seconds.
It gives us focus time.
Yeah.
And when a little bit later on, we're going to talk about focusing our energy into these sections of our day.
Yeah, we're going to give you some tips right at the very end. Now, let's have a look at some science, because I love a bit of science here. And I notice we've got some doctors here, so they might be able to input on this. But we do have natural rhythms in our body. And I think it's really important that we start to listen to these and stop working against our bodies. So we have something called our circadian rhythm, right? Which is our 24-hour clock. And this regulates our sleep, our wakefulness, our energy levels. And, most people are naturally more energized in the morning, and then they take a hit in the afternoon. So why are we not, prioritizing our tasks within this? Our most productive, I don't know whether anybody's heard the book Eat the Frog, which is about doing the hardest thing in the morning, because that's when our energy levels are highest. And then maybe our kind of more mundane admin things, why are we not just leaving them till the afternoon when we haven't got as much energy, but they don't take as much focus from us, right? Then we've got something called our ultradian rhythms, right? And these change every 90 to 120 minutes, okay? And these are more shorter ones than the longer ones. The circadian rhythms are kind of like that happens once in a 24-hour, but the ultradian ones happen, many times during the day. So taking short breaks, sometimes after each cycle, can help you reset and recharge. And that's where you just have to start listening to your body, right? Rather than pushing through and hustling and going, that kind of thing. And then you've got inferior rhythms, and these are kind of longer rhythms, and these affect you over weeks, over months, and they do take more conscious awareness. So it could be that when the clocks change, right, you have to adjust your tasks, because we often get more tired in the afternoon, right? When the winter hits.
Especially changing seasons is a big one.
Changing in seasons is a big one. So why are we still pushing through? Why are we not going with the rhythm of thing? Especially for us ladies, we're going to have times of the month where we feel more energized, these when we're not, and especially when maybe we're going, later on in life and everything as well. So we've got these cycles going on in us all the time, and we have to honor our bodies and honor ourselves rather than not being machines, right? We're human beings, not human doings. And I'll repeat that again. We're human beings, not human doings. And we often fall into that space.
So we're going to go into some breakout rooms now, and I want you to leave you with a few questions to discuss, but also do your networking. But there's a few questions on the screen here that I'd love you to have a conversation about. And it's about, when did you feel drained recently and what caused it? How do you currently try to push through when your energy levels are low? And how could you use energy management to make you more productive throughout the day? So there's just a few questions that we can open up the conversation when you go into these breakout rooms.
Yeah. So, Cesar, is it okay? 5 minutes? I think that'll be enough time, won't it? Then we come back into the room, and then we can go into another 5 minutes, just so that everybody's got that chance to, do a bit of networking. Cool.
Let's do it.
Excellent.
Thank you, Laura.
Oh, Okay, everybody just coming back. Yeah, welcome back into the room, everybody. It's good to see everybody right back here. Everybody came back. So I'd love to know from the conversation that we've had, is there anyone that would love to feedback, share, what you found out? Just wave your hand, put your arm in the air or whatever. Yes. Is it Ro, is it? Please, yeah, just unmute yourself. Oh, where are you? Oh, she's gone.
Hey,
That's it.
hi everyone. This is Rabia. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a lovely session. It was a great networking. I met a guy from US who asked about what I'm doing, and then I met a female from like Brazil who was like working on the healthcare side, and we like discussed upon opportunities where we can explore and work together. I think it was quite amazing, and thank you so much. You're such a lovely couple. I love talking about mental health and how to sort of, like energize yourself in the morning. And I'm also working as a board of trustee for one of the, Pakistan Institutes of like living and learning, which is working on mental health in Pakistan. And I involve as a board of trustee. I keep adding value in what they're doing. And I would love to share some things which we are working on, some of the research projects we have all over the world. I would love to share that with you both. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
More
well,
than welcome.
come and find us on LinkedIn. If anyone hasn't done it already, please put your LinkedIn details in here, so that we can, all connect with each other. So
I'll
make
share
sure you
it,
do
sure.
that. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Anybody else at all would like to share?
I think Sayali has some good comments. She was in my breakout room. Sayali, would you be willing to share what you talked about?
Hi, Sally. It's lovely to see you again.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for this conversation. And I was mentioning that this is the concepts that you are presenting is very much in line with the yogic sciences. And I'm from India, so it's a cultural and heritage gift that we have received. So when you say about when I look at people here in US, they talk about time management. It is actually about your energy management, because if you have energy, there is always a time, right? If you can have certain your practices that can manage your body mind well, then your sleep quota will also come down. So you will obviously have more time. And then I was speaking with him about, people talk about getting exhausted because of the multiple meetings that they attend, especially online or in person. I have seen that people talk about direct eye contact, but that is where you actually lose energy. Because when we talk about energy, it is not about your physical energy. It is about the life force that runs through your second body. So when you actually have direct eye contact, you actually end up in losing energy. So either you look at the eyelids or between your eyebrows. That is one way to save your energy. So I do back-to-back meetings with people, 5, 6 meetings, but I don't get tired at all.
Love
That is a brilliant tip. Thank you so much for
Love
sharing that. I really do. And do you know what? I don't know about you, Sally, and everybody else, but when we go to a lot of meetings, I almost imagine my brain is like a penny jar, and each meeting you go to, it just kind of builds up and builds up and builds up. And we don't give ourselves those breaks to get up, to stretch, to move around, to empty that penny jar afterwards. So what you're saying there about the eye contact is so interesting. And I feel most of the time, I don't know about you, but we're putting in 100%, effort, and we're getting 50% results. And that's almost what I, determine time management. But energy management can be, we can put in 50% effort and get 100% results. It's just about, flipping it. And I know we had a chat with Rennie about, being able to look at what you want, especially when it comes to your schedule. If you're self-employed, you pretty much have an open schedule in terms of what you want to do. And I think one of the ways that we need to be able to manage our energy is looking at, what do I want? Because we're often telling ourselves, I'm exhausted, I'm knackered, I'm tired. And if that's where you are and that's what you're saying, you're going to get more of that, right? So the focus needs to be on, what is it you want to create? I want an energized life. I want to feel focused. I want to be productive. Great. So let's, move in that direction. Thank you so much for dropping all of your LinkedIn details in this, and make sure that you do, connect with everybody on there. Cesar, are we happy to go into another 5-minute breakout room at all?
Yep, sure. I'm just working on it right now.
Yeah, to do some networking and look at the questions as well, just in terms of, have you tried to push through things when your energy is low? How could you use energy management based on what we've been talking about?
And what other things drain you as well?
We've got someone with their hand up.
Universal Consulting.
Yeah, Universal Consulting, I think, before we go into a breakout room.
Hello, good morning in US, good evening in UK, and almost good night in India and Pakistan. Well, this is Yogesh Wagle, principal partner of GFV Universal Consulting LLP. We are headquartered in India and we are spread across in 6 countries. And now next year will also be in USA with blessings of dogs. Well, we are also members of Ahmedabad chapter of the Global Chamber. Well, first I would like to congratulate you. This is really you can say this particular thing in India is called as holistic learning, because India is called as a culture, is a land of cultures. It's an ancient culture. So what madam has also conveyed, I fully endorse her view. And this is where the global chamber and let's us collaborate, where we can actually institutionalize this entire concept. I've seen many employees lagging behind in this wellness. Why? Because it's not done at a corporate level, or it's not done at a institutional level itself. So let us join hands together with the global chamber, and let's see how we can collaborate a lot in making this a campaign a very fruitful, not only in terms of health but also in terms of money. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for that.
sharing.
We really appreciate your support, and I know Doug appreciates that as well. Lovely. Right, so yeah, if Doug, did you want to say something before we go into a breakout room?
No, appreciate that, and I got that same impression from Sayali in terms of the holistic approach that is inherent in dharmic and yogi type, really built into a lot of the systems in India, it's very refreshing. I'm also reminded of the African saying, go slower to go faster. And especially certainly people like me who have achieved something of some significance by driving, by pushing. And you talked about, like the next step is just do more, and sometimes doing more isn't the answer. The answer is to go slow. The answer is to do less for some period of time to get the refreshed. And that's hard for people like me to understand, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know about you, but it's always been in those moments where I've let go and I've trusted, I've surrendered, whatever, and I've just let go, and then things just start to happen. Do you know what I mean? And we've got to ask ourselves, how much energy are we putting into hustle and fight and push? Do you know what I mean? And is that ultimately helping our health? Or do we take the path of least resistance and listen to the flow of our body to be able to create the opportunities and, improve our health at the end of the day? So
I don't know if you can see it, but on my finger is a ring. It's a company called Aura from Finland, OARA maybe. And it basically is monitoring heartbeat and a variety of other data points. And quite honestly, when I first got it for Christmas from my wife, who wanted me to be healthier, I was afraid to wear it after I started to see the results, like not sleeping enough and warning about stress. And I've started to wear it again, and I feel better because I'm actually sleeping longer, and I can understand some of the patterns that will allow me to sleep better and to be less stressed and things like that. However, yesterday was Sunday. Normally, apparently, I have about 1.5 hours a day of stress. And yesterday on a Sunday, I had 5.5 6.5 hours of stress, and I have no idea why. So I'm trying to figure that out. So have you had any experience with these types of technology, and what do you think?
Yeah.
We wear Whoop bands, so it's very similar, but you wear it on your wrist.
Yeah, so these things are fantastic for tracking. So Aura and Whoop are very much about stress, strain, and recovery. And what they'll do is they'll track your heart rate, your breathing rate, and it could be on Saturday, maybe or Sunday, you had some sort of food or alcohol or something like that. Sometimes these things can actually cause your HRV to go down and for your body to appear, go in the red zones, basically.
Okay.
So sometimes these sorts of things, can trigger that. But I love them. They're a fantastic bit of kit. We give them to some of our clients. But as with everything, you have to take these readings with a pinch of salt, right? Because you have to understand that you know your body ultimately, but they are a good guide.
Don't get fixed on the numbers too much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
When you're a hyperachiever, crazy person like me, you get into the numbers. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Use it as a guide. Use it as a guide. Prashant and then Naomi.
Yes. So carrying on from where Doug has mentioned about energy and the topic today and what you mentioned about aura and other things, the Indian culture itself also talks about and deals with your energy management in a very natural way, which is meditation and mindfulness. Now, these two things are very powerful tools which do not require any kind of external aura management rings and things like that. So it is inherent in our Indian culture. I just wanted to point that out. So what we talk about world over today in our management of selves, where it is meditation and mindfulness. These are the two things which I wanted to talk about. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And we couldn't agree more with you, could we?
Meditation is one of my top things to do, literally, whether it's 5 minutes or whether it's an hour. I love sitting down and just zoning off and going into my oneness.
Focus.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that. Naomi.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch back on the point you said about kind of, the going with the flow and the energy management and listening to your body and all of that kind of stuff. I think across a lot of different cultures where there's this whole must be busy, must be doing this. If I'm taking a break, that's a problem and actually, I've never been so successful. I mean, and how you define successful is obviously your own personal way, but me, success is about health, happiness, and balance and all that kind of stuff. When I kind of have actually just taken that journey to let go a little bit, the fact that you might have a free hour in an afternoon, that's great, right? Why are we trying to fill that with things or, that walk, that and the walks that I take is where I come up with my best ideas, which means the really productive time happens after that or the next morning and all of those types of things. And I've really had that experience, as you said, of if you let go a little bit, the way the world does have a way, and you have to understand within yourself when you're putting something off because you don't want to do it, but it needs doing, and trying to pretend that's listening to your body. But you do, we're all hardworking, dedicated professionals because we're all here, right? We're all here to grow and learn and network. So when you really start to listen to yourself, I just wanted to share that, it really does, it does work, I think.
Okay.
Definitely. No, I totally agree with you. Thank you, Naomi, for your input there. And it's so true. We often think going for a walk is going to be like, oh, I haven't got the time for it. I haven't got the energy for it. But as soon as you get up and you do actually, go for a walk, and I'm the same as you, I've had some of my most amazing ideas and inspired ideas when I have been meditating, mindfulness, journaling, exercising, all the things when we're away from the hustle, right? So
it's in the silence the magic happens. A musical masterpiece is because of the silent bits in between the notes. That's what makes it brilliant. And I think that's the same with life. We just need to be a little bit more quiet, step away a little bit, and then see what comes through.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Barry, you said it right. The silence between the musical notes, it's a similar way for even the dance as well. So if you are dancing on beats, that's where when you start understanding the silence, you can really dance with those beats. And for those, especially when Doug mentioned that, I feel stressed, or if people think that I need some rest, some sleep, I would definitely recommend them to go ahead and try some yoga nidras, which are kind of 30-minute psychic sleep, which give you equivalent of 4 to 5 hours of actual sleep. And if you invest 30 to 40 minutes for that, at least once a week, it is going to get much rid of your stress. You will never ever find that stress is going to be inherent nature of yours. It's just a kind of thing that gets built because of mind. And if you just manage it with the yoga nidra and other practices which are already available, you will find you will never get stressed. Even with the insomnia and other things, it will definitely help.
Most definitely. Thank you, Sally. Yes, it's called Yoga Nidra. I think it's Nidra. I believe that's how you spell it. And yeah, absolutely. And as with, over in our culture, everything has to be sciencified. And I know that Andrew Huberman has been talking about that a lot, but you're so right. It's giving ourselves even just, would we even think about having a nap in the day? How many of us would be okay with having a nap in the day? Taking a little bit of time to have a bit of a snooze. A lot of people think, oh my gosh,
during the day.
Yeah, but it's something that can really help energize you, right? We don't want to fall into anything in terms of, going over 30 or 40 minutes, because then we're going into, our REM cycle. But something that is short and sweet can really kind of help us. I think Google even have nap pods now.
It's called power nap.
Yeah, power nap.
Power nap, yeah, absolutely. And it's very much, along, those lines as to what it is. I love a power nap. Doug, did you want to say anything? I see you unmuted yourself, the same as Siali.
No, I'm good. I'll save any comments for the end. So just as a time check, we've got about 8 minutes left.
Cool. So what we're going to do is we'll go back in and we just want to share some tips because we want to make sure that we end this session because I'm sure all of you have got other things that you've got on today. So we've got some tips here to help you to manage your energy.
So the first thing you want to look at is look at your energy levels and track your energy levels. So grab a bit of paper, grab a pen and write down when you feel the most energized throughout the day. And then what we can do, we can prioritize those energy depleting tasks to go with where you feel the most energized. So we're not opposite ends of the spectrum there. And build rest into your routine. Rest doesn't have to be an hour sleeping. It could be 5 minutes just away from your desk looking at nature outside the window, or going out and taking some big deep breaths just to settle your mind back again. And then respect your limitations. Don't try and push. If you need to take a breath, if you need to take a rest, if you need to get help for the tasks, respect your own limitations and listen to your natural energy rhythms throughout the day. We're going to have high energy, low energy, and try to marry them up with the tasks that match with your energy levels.
One thing I would say is, when we're talking about tracking your energy levels, you could have a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, that's it, I'm done. I can't do anything. And 10 being like, bing, I'm like the Duracell bunny. I'm kind of on it, And so it might be a good idea to, yes, track it over a day, but how about over a period of 7 days or even 14? Take your time with this, okay? Don't rush this. This is a time when you get a chance to really look at what's working for you, okay? Look at what's working for you, look at what's not working for you. But I want you to do this without judgment, okay? That's really important, without judgment of yourself. And then the other thing we can do is, like Barry says, prioritizing high impact tasks, right? So write out a list of things that you've got to do for the week. Just have a massive brainstorm on the page, a brain fart, whatever it is on the page. And then maybe write the energy levels that you feel that thing's going to take. So maybe doing your social media is a level 8 for you because you know that's going to take a lot of energy. Whereas doing some general admin might be a level 1 or 2. And then you can start to slot things in. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. But building that rest into your routine, setting that timer every 90 minutes, 5 deep breaths, get a power nap in, go outside, have a walk, these sorts of things, they can really help. And again, do what's right for you. We are all different, okay? But listen and do not judge yourself for
Just
this.
focus. The rest time that you have is the silence between the notes of that musical song. I couldn't
Absolutely.
think of the word.
Remember, and I'll leave you with this, it's not about squeezing more time into your day. It's about using your energy wisely and listening to yourself to be the most impactful leader, the most inspired entrepreneur, the most brilliant CEO, whatever it is for you. Don't start cramming things in and forcing things. Listen to your energy, see where it's at, so then you can be able to get more done in less time and actually start to enjoy life a little bit more. So Doug, we are going to open up to questions or insights or anything like that, or anything that you would love to do to close the session. We've got 5 minutes, so I wanted to leave plenty of time for all of that.
Sure. Demetris or Titi or anybody else in the audience, do you have any wrap-up calls or any reactions to what you've heard today? Demetris, I've seen you're sending in characters. What do you think? This is very consistent, I know, with your mindful approach to what you do.
Yeah, this was really, really, I think I only caught 10 minutes, but really impactful. I was working with some law students over the weekend, and it was like a career fair. And so I was there, to talk with them. And there was one, it was busy, right? They were going around to the tables, you pick up the little swag at the tables. And there was one student who was all the way off to the side. So I was kind of thinking about myself and how when I was a law student, I didn't really do that, just jump in and get involved like that. I was a little bit shyer. And so I walked up to him and I said, are you okay? Did you follow up with some companies? And he said, yes. He said, I'm taking a social mental energizing moment. And I was like, if I had have known that, you know what I mean? At that time, I totally would have used that. And then, so I thought about it this weekend, and I feel like this is what you've just taught. And it's just so beautiful. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're more than welcome. That's so inspiring to hear that young people are actually taking this on board. It really is.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing
Especially
that.
nowadays, because we are so connected, we're not having these spaces that we need. So it's good that we can put these down and we can go back to what we call normal reality, where we just breathe in and relax in and what have you.
And a lot of people said at the beginning, negative thoughts, negative people, and I bet they all come from this thing. All right, I bet they all come from this thing. So if you put that down a bit, it's definitely going to help us. So yeah, brilliant.
And ironically, it's called a smartphone. So
it's so smart, it keeps us going back to it.
So we do need to wrap up because we're at the end of the hour.
I'd
like to make a comment, and then if you guys both don't mind making the final comment, and then we'll close the room. I'd like to build on what you said about the meditation and the value of that, which I also believe in very strongly. Because I learned a lot of that from Positive Intelligence and Shirzad Chamine and how he's weaved that into Positive Intelligence. There's another aspect of it, though, that I thought was really important, and it touched a little bit around, and I think it's different. One is the meditation part and getting your brain to that quiet place to refresh, to become more of a sage. And the other was what he talks about, which I've seen work, is when you move, when you walk, or in my case, ride my bike, your brain, something happens with your brain and it processes data and information to open up innovation, I think. And he describes it as actually a scientific fact. And I've personally seen that. Some of the best ideas I've had a couple of them anyway, and most of them have happened on a bike or like while I get off the bike. So if there's anything that you'd like to say about that and anything else you'd like to say to wrap up. Really appreciate you putting this program together. We'll be back with Laura and Barry on a program. This is a regular program now. Do you both of you have some final comments before we close?
No, just thank you so much for, allowing us to host this. It's been fantastic. I personally just want to thank every single one of you for turning up today, honoring yourself and giving your energy to us to make this such a brilliant session.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate that your energy's been amazing throughout the whole session. So thank you very much.
Yeah, most definitely.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. This is a little bit unusual that we've done this on a Monday morning, and the newsletter is actually coming out right now. So the next time, if we do this on a Monday morning, we'll hopefully get that out prior to the session. But otherwise, just brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much.
Come and find us. If you want a copy of the slides, find me on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to send them to you.
We'll put a post in LinkedIn right now with your contact information, and everybody check that out too. Take care.
Worries.
Thank
See
you.
soon.
you.
Take care.
Cheers.
Bye.
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 Thanks so much. That was really, really well done.
Oh, you're absolutely more than welcome. No problems. Thank you for having us. Just let us know, what date the next one is, and we can sort something out and send some ideas over for you.
Sounds good. We'll trade information and set that up.
Cool. No
Awesome.
worries. All right, Doug. Take care. Thank you, Cesar. Take care now.
See you
Bye,
later.
everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.